Today, we're digging into something pretty wild, an absolutely explosive quarter from one of India's most iconic watchmakers, Timex. We've got their latest investor report, and we're going to unpack the story behind the numbers. Trust me, you'll want to see this. All right, so let's just jump right to the punchline. Forget building up to it. In early 2025, Timex India dropped results for their first quarter that made everybody sit up and pay attention. The numbers, well, they're pretty staggering. First off, the top line, their revenue. It shot up by 55% compared to the same time last year. I mean, think about that. A more than 50% jump in sales in just 12 months. That's huge. Okay, but this is where it gets really crazy. Their operational profitability, you'll hear this called EBITDA, it grew by a jaw-dropping 361%. So they weren't just selling more, they were making money way more efficiently. And here it is, the final knockout blow. Their profit before tax skyrocketed by 511%. This isn't just a good quarter. This points to a massive fundamental shift in how the company is performing. So, how on earth did they do it? That's the big question, right? Well, that's what we're here to figure out. We're going to break down the financials, then we'll look at the cool products and collabs that fueled this fire. After that, we'll zoom out to see the global Timex machine, and finally, bring it back home to see how the team in India pulls it all together. All right, first up, let's decode these financials. We've seen the big, splashy percentages, but what do they actually mean in terms of cold, hard cash? And what does it tell us about the business itself? This chart really puts that leap into perspective. We're not talking about a little hop. This is a giant jump. Just look at the income, going from about 11,000 lakhs to almost 17,000. But the second set of bars, the profitability, that's the real story. From under 500 to over 2,000. It's a whole different league. Now, you're going to hear that term EBITDA a lot in business, so let's just quickly break it down. It stands for earnings before interest, taxes, depreciation, and amortization. Basically, it's a really clean way to see how profitable the core business operations are without all the accounting and financing stuff getting in the way. So this table lays it all out. And by the way, you'll see the numbers are in lakhs. That's just part of the Indian numbering system. 1 lakh is 100,000 rupees. But what's really crucial here is how one thing leads to another. That 55% boost in income created this incredible leverage, fueling a 361% pop in profitability, which then exploded into that 511% jump in profit. It's like a perfect chain reaction. Okay, so numbers are one thing, but they're just the result. The cause? Well, that's where things get really interesting. Let's look at the actual products and the marketing that got people so excited. You want to talk about being relevant? They went straight for the pop culture jugular with this one. A full-blown collaboration inspired by Wednesday Addams from that smash hit Netflix show. It was brilliant, timely, and exactly what people were talking about. And the marketing was just perfect. The tagline was, "Rejoice, dark times are here." I mean, come on. It's clever, it's weird, it's memorable, it's everything a normal, boring watch ad isn't. It just completely captured the vibe. But this quarter wasn't just about clever watch collabs. They made a huge strategic play, launching Guess jewelry in India for the very first time. This wasn't just a new product, it was a whole new category, opening them up to a completely different customer. A really smart move. And it wasn't just one or two things. This was a full court press. You had high fashion collabs with designers like Jockey Aish. You had them digging into their archives and bringing back a fan favorite 90s watch. They pushed deeper into smartwatches, and they wrapped it all in this cool social media message about the analog life. It was a multi-pronged attack. So now let's zoom out for a second, because all of this amazing local execution doesn't just happen in a bubble. It's all powered by a massive global company that has a very clear playbook for how to win. And you gotta remember, Timex is not some flash in the pan. We're talking about a company that started way back in 1854. They've got over 170 years of history built on this idea of taking quality, old-school craftsmanship and mixing it with modern industrial smarts to make great watches for everybody. So this is their global secret sauce, boiled down to 4 pillars. First, best-in-class design. Second, telling great stories around the brand. Third, having a massive distribution network to get the watches out there. And fourth, an amazing supply chain, holding it all together. It's a formula they can use anywhere in the world. And that first pillar, design, is really at the core of it all. This quote is from their head of design, Giorgio Galli. Some people call him the Johnny Ives of the watch world. For him and for Timex, design isn't just about making something look nice. It's about having the courage to make something extraordinary. Okay, let's bring it back home. How does that global playbook translate to the ground in India? This is where we see how they've built such a local powerhouse capable of pulling off a quarter like the one we just saw. Timex India has a really deep history here. They didn't just show up yesterday. They've been in the market since 1988, starting as a joint venture, then going public, and now operating as a key piece of the global Timex family, managing a whole portfolio of major brands. And this, right here, shows you their superpower, reach. A great product is useless if people can't buy it. And they are everywhere, over 5,000 multi-brand stores across the country. But look at the mix. They're also in hundreds of large format stores, luxury boutiques, and even defense canteens. They know how to reach every kind of Indian consumer. So this is the magic formula, right? It's this incredible combination. Timex India gets all the power and scale of a global network with over 22,000 locations worldwide, but then they execute with the sharp, focused precision of a local expert. It's literally the best of both worlds. When you look at a quarter like this, it's clear that the desire for a beautiful, story-driven watch isn't going anywhere. In fact, it's thriving. Timex proved that mixing 170 years of history with what's happening in culture right now is a winning combination, which kind of leaves you with this big question. In a world full of smart screens on our wrists, what is it that makes a classic watch, well, so timeless?